Alright guys, it's Mad and welcome back to another Is It Worth the Gold episode, and today we're going to be looking at the Excelsior, the Tier 5 British heavy tank, premium heavy tank. You can buy it in the store with some bundles, or you can buy it off the tech tree for just a little bit less. So let's have a look at the gold prices and see what you get with it. So the first bundle, the Excelsior loaded. 2,100 gold, that says a 17% saving. So what does it come with? It comes with some premium shells, 100% trained crew, which doesn't really matter. One garage slot and 3 days of premium. So for 2,100 gold, basically you get an Excelsior, some premium shells, and 3 days of premium. So it's not actually a bad bundle if you need some premium time, because 3 days of premiums cost you 650 gold, so that would make that 1,450 gold cost for an Excelsior with some premium rounds, and that is a lot less than the gold price in the tech tree. Let's have a look in the tech tree. I can't see the actual gold price because I've bought it already, but the Matilda Black Prince is 1,750, so it's going to be around that price. So 1,450 gold price, if you take into account the premium days, that's not actually that bad a price to get the Excelsior. So yeah, the loaded bundle, I think that's actually quite a good deal. I'd recommend it over this tank and this tank. So let's go back to it. 2,100 gold, you get 3 days of premium and some premium shells. Not a bad price, but then you can go up to the Excelsior fully loaded. This is 3,850 gold, so that's 1,750 gold more than this. So what do you get extra? Well, you get 3 pieces of equipment. So basically, for that gold price extra, you're paying for 3 pieces of equipment. That is quite expensive, but that is still cheaper than the cost of converting gold into silver to buy the pieces of equipment. So if you're short on silver but you have plenty of gold hanging around, it is a good idea to buy equipment with gold. Basically that's what you're doing there. But if you do have the silver lying around, it's not worth the gold to just buy 3 pieces of equipment. So I recommend this bundle. You get the Excelsior fairly cheap if you take into account the premium day time. Right, so let's have a look at it. I've owned it since it came out. The first time it was in the store and it wasn't in the tech tree, because I'd seen some PC footage of this tank and I actually quite fancied it, and to be honest, it's a good little tank. All I'm going to say though, straight at the start, if you're looking for a crew trainer, it's a good tank. If you're looking for a tank to make silver, it's not a good tank, and there's one main reason for that. It's not the armour. I will go and talk about the reason why it doesn't make good silver first. It has a 75mm gun. Rate of fire is excellent at 15.79, but penetration is not good at 91mm. Premium pen goes up to 144. So you can already see from those figures, this tank does get prem matchmaking. It'll only see tier 6s, but trying to fight tier 6s, well, tier 5s is bad enough with 91mm, so fighting tier 6s with 91mm is going to be very hard work. And with .41 accuracy, it's not even like you can snipe out weak spots very easy. So you're going to need to run a lot of premium ammunition on this. It's just exactly the same as the T14 and the Churchill 3. They all suffer with the same problem. They have good armour profiles, but the gun is a little lackluster, meaning you have to fling a lot of premium rounds to get the damage done, which soaks up your profit completely. So again, if you're looking for a tank to make silver, this is not for you. But if you're looking for a tank to train up British crews, it's a good little tank. Right, so let's go and have a look at the armour. And this is what makes this tank pretty good. 114mm on the front of the turret and the hull. That is enough to bounce the majority of tier 5 tanks, some tier 6s, as long as you know how to angle. The only drawback is you can angle your hull all you like, but the front of the turret is still 114mm, and if you need to shoot at someone, you have to point your turret at them, which means that big square flat plate on the front of the turret of 114mm is very square. So the effective armour thickness is only going to be 114mm, and quite a few tier 5 tanks have more penetration than that. So what I'm saying is basically Doesn't matter how well you angle your hull, if you need to shoot at someone, they're going to be able to penetrate your turret. So although the armour's thick, the effectiveness of it is it's not quite as good as you would think it is, but it does work, and we will see in some gameplay. Anyway, so funky little tank, and it is pretty mobile. Let's go back into the stats. So it has 670 hit points. That's very good for tier 5. Speed limit of 39 kilometers an hour. It does have a very powerful engine though, so it does get to that speed pretty quick. Track traverse is okay at 32 degrees a second. I would recommend running a crew that has clutch braking and off-road driving in this tank, but if you don't, it's not a massive drama. Anyway, sorry, what have I done there? Let's go back into the other stats a second. Yeah, so we've talked about the gun. You're going to need a lot of premium rounds. It has a quite powerful engine. Track traverse is okay. Turret traverse is good. View range is not great. So you're going to need binos on this tank. Let's go into the equipment. I would recommend on this tank binocular telescopes, rammer, and ventilation. You don't really need gun lane drive. The accuracy is not good enough to warrant trying to get your aim circle any better, because they go wherever they want to anyway. Right, so there we go, 3 bits of equipment you want on there. What does this store actually give you, actually? What do they recommend? Let's have a look. So on the fully loaded, you get rammer, gun lane drive, and ventilation. 350 meter base view range. Ventilation will bring it up a bit, and depending on what crew you chuck in this tank, will bring up a little bit more, but that is not going to be enough. So if you did buy the fully loaded bundle, I would recommend selling some of the equipment you get with it, which is going to cost you 10 gold, but you will be able to make this tank a little better. Right, so there's not a lot else to talk about this thing. It's an okay little tank. It's a good little tier 5 crew trainer, but it won't make you any silver. Anyway, let's go into some gameplay and see how the armor profile holds up against some equal tier targets.
Move up and capture the enemy position.
So, Excelsior in a tier 5 game, heavily tier 5 game. Nearly every tank in the game is tier 5. We're on Pacific Island, not a bad map for a tier 5 game. You do need some decent view range, so I think, although I recommended binos, I do have a very skilled crew in this tank, and I went for coated optics. But if you don't have any particularly skilled crews, I mean with situational awareness, recon, brothers in arms, etc., I definitely recommend binocular telescopes. Right, so the game's on either side, and we spot a KV-1 that is completely out of position. See, I'm already on the premium rounds, KV-1 from maximum range. Even my premium rounds are going to bounce. He's at a very nice angle, so I need to hit his turret really. And you can see the rate of fire though. Excellent rate of fire. Spot an enemy Churchill 1, and we're pumping out the rounds. That one missed, and he's back into cover. Right, time to continue advancing to where I wanted to go. The best thing about the Excelsior, for a heavy tank, it's pretty nippy. You can see it whizzes along pretty quick. 600 horsepower engine's pretty good at tier 5, and it's not a particularly big or heavy tank considering the amount of armour it does have. If you like medium tanks, this tank's actually, it's not far off a medium in terms of mobility and playstyle. Although this top speed limit's not particularly high, it does get there pretty quick, and the engine power lets you move over rough ground fairly quickly. It's definitely less frustrating than the Churchill 3, the tier 5 premium Russian heavy tank. That thing's very slow. The guns are comparable, and it's exactly the same with the T14 as well. All three of them suffer with very low penetration for tier, meaning you do need to fling a lot of premium rounds to get any sort of decent damage done, meaning again your profit is all soaked up, which is why I said in the garage about this being a good crew trainer, but not a particularly good silver earner. And that is one target you don't want to see in this tank. That is a KV-220. You're going to need premium rounds to even have a chance. That thing has the hull of a KV-3, a tier 7 Russian heavy tank. And you can see I'm giving it a go with the standard rounds. Now I switch to premium, And there's still, even with premium rounds on a KV-220, that one hits the turret. That's about the only chance I've got. So I flung a lot of rounds down the range. We still only have a few pens, and the game's not looking too good. Get hit by a high explosive round there, and I think we only lose 3 hit points. I still haven't made it to where I wanted to go. Targets keep popping up. Keep slowing me down. What I really want to be is right up here on this corner. I change back to standard rounds. I always try and use standard rounds if you can get away with it, and then if you can't get the damage done, then switch to premium, because otherwise you burn through your stock of premium very quickly. And if you come up against quite a heavily armoured target at the end of the game, and you haven't got any premium rounds left, you're going to struggle. See there, a couple of bounces again with standard rounds. You will struggle with quite a few of the regular tech tree tanks at tier 5. You ideally need to prioritise tank destroyers and mediums and light tanks in this tank.
I see one.
So now we find a Churchill 3 at an acceptable angle, and we get a couple of shots in. But I'm making up my points more on assist points at the minute, because I have a decent crew and a decent lot of equipment. But you can see the armour profile does hold up. Especially against tanks like the Churchill 3, if they don't fire premium rounds, you are more than capable of just sitting in front of them and absorbing the damage. The T-34 is hitting me, but he's not successful for every round, so I feel comfortable enough to just sit here at the minute. And there we go, take down the T-34 and back to within Churchill 3. If he was to angle his armour just a little bit more, I wouldn't be able to penetrate him with standard rounds. And there we go, armour hold up brilliantly there against those 2 tier 5 tanks.
Ready to fire on target.
Just trying to search out a shot on that Emperor Lee. Hit him, get a crit, so hopefully it's his tracks. There we go, and pick up another kill. Luckily the last enemy heavy tank alive is on my side of the flank, so I should be able to get there in time to get a little bit more damage out of this game. Didn't quite see what it was there. And this is where that speed comes in handy. It's a VK 3001H. If he's upgraded, he can penetrate me very easily. And it looks like he does have the Konish. So I switched to my premium rounds, and they're still not taking effect yet. There we go, get one in. Need to hurry up, the team are turning up. We're going to steal this kill. Ooh, that was an unlucky miss. One of our teammates turns up and snaffles up that kill. But there we go, not a too bad game in the Excelsior. That more highlighted the effect of the armour with against equal and lower tiers. Did make some silver there, but not enough to warrant using this tank to grind silver. But what we did get is nearly 6,000 experience for the double. That is some excellent crew training, just under 2k damage, and 550 assist points was enough to put us at the top of the team with a decent amount of base experience and top on damage as well. So there we go guys, the Excelsior. It's in the store at the minute. The loaded bundle I think is a pretty good deal. It's actually quite cheap if you take into account the premium time. The fully loaded bundle is a little bit expensive, but if you're short on silver, it's a good way of getting a premium tank with some premium time and enough equipment to get you out there and get you doing some damage as quick as you can. Well, there we go guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give it a like if you did, please sub if you're not, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.